See, baby girl, she act right, but she ain't my type. And when I see her, she try to convince me otherwise. Like, E, why don't you give me a try? I have my reasons, I ain't telling her why. I know what type, I know what past, I know what she about. She a bunny with the love and she just hop around. I won't deny that when she ride, the girl can put it down. Best believe that when I leave, it's what I think about. Decided I would never give her a chance, but when I'm laying out my options, might be taking it back. Some people telling me no, the others telling me yes. Got me confused, I'm thinking how the hell I got in this mess. She treats me good, so I should, right? And if I don't, we'll never know what it looked like. I guess I'll never find out.
What's good, y'all? It is me, Jefferson, coming to you guys with my first video here on Kicksologist.com. And today, I'll be talking about these beautiful sneakers right here. These are the Nike Kobe 9 Elite. And I'll be grading the shoe between 1 to 10. Pretty simple, so let's get straight to it. Now, first off, I want to talk about is the traction. Nike used a thermal mapping of Kobe Bryant's foot. Now, this is kind of similar to what Adidas use in their shoes currently, which is called Feet Wear Technology or Pure Motion, whatever. It bases its traction pattern on the pressure points of the foot, which is on the forefoot, the toes. It gives you a really nice natural experience when you're playing, so it works flawlessly. The traction is 10 out of 10. And it's whether it's a clean court, a dusty court, all them dust bunnies get stuck. Nah, they don't. Well, they do, but it still works. I do swipe every now and then, but even though if I don't swipe, it's still very sticky and grippy to the floor. It has you covered on lateral cuts, you know, just left and right movement, forward and back, fast breaks, all that stuff. I had no issues, no slippage of any kind, which is awesome. Last year's Kobe 8 combination of herringbone and like other patterns, it worked really well. So if these are a 10, these I'd probably give a 9. And the kind of rubber they use is really nice. It's really thin. Again, these are just for indoor only. I would not use these outdoors. You do see me hooping outdoors, just shooting around, but I'm not playing a full-on game where I'm burning through the rubber. So definitely just remain indoors. Has nothing to do with traction, but you got a little crash pad here on the heel. Just gives you a little bit more impact protection on the heel. It also gives you kind of like a push-off point here on the medial side, so when you toe off, you're covered. So again, 10 out of 10. Traction department is perfect. Alright, next up is the cushioning. On the Kobe 9, Lunarlon has made its return once again. Last year's on the Kobe 8 was this little Lunarlon insert right here in green. So you can see exactly how how much more thicker the Kobe 9 insole, which is on the bottom, is. And now it's pretty much exactly the same thing, except that there's grooves on the upper, and it gives you a little bit more grip. So yeah, when whatever sock you're wearing, you won't slip. That was a problem with the Kobe 8 because you know, this really doesn't do anything. Your feet would kind of slide within the shoe when you're playing. Really like how they added that. It kind of even feels like a little massage when you're walking around them. This is really comfortable. As far as Lunarlon cushioning itself when playing basketball, it's very responsive, soft, a lot more responsive than the Kobe 8s for sure. But the only problem, and I would grade the cushioning for the Kobe 9 a 9.5 out of 10, is because the Lunarlon doesn't really last a very long time. After you 20 wearings and whatnot on basketball, on the court, it doesn't really survive the longevity of like a Zoom unit kind of cushioning or Air Max. What I love about Lunarlon, it's very low to the ground and you have a lot of control. So yeah, so 9.5 out of 10. It's soft, responsive, very comfortable, low to the ground. And that's pretty much the Kobe 9 experience as far as cushion. Alright, next up I want to talk about is lockdown and fit. I am aware that some people think that, hey, half size down or whatever. I would recommend you guys stay true to size as possible, because when you do have a shoe that has a little bit of dead space in the forefoot, when you're playing basketball, your feet actually swell up a little bit. You need a little bit of dead space, kind of half a thumb of space, which is right here. So you don't want it too tight where your foot is or your toes are hitting the front. With the dead space right there, it'll clear up once your feet swell up when you start playing the game. Now, lockdown in this shoe is perfect. First off, you got the flywire strands on the upper, which is right here. You got 6 little flywire, eyelets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And after that, you have 3 other eyelets on the upper, on the collar, right here, 1, 2, and 3. Now if you lace it up to the first eyelet, you have ultimate range of motion without being restricted at all. If you lace it to the second eyelet up on the top, you have a little bit more restriction. You still have a good range of motion, you have some freedom, and that's how I play. That's how I play with the shoe. I just lace it to the second eyelet. Now if you want full-on compression, you lace up all the way to the top, but you are a little bit restricted, but it's not a bad thing. You know, some people like that high ankle support. It's really not any support because you're just pretty much playing in a mid-top shoe, as you can see, just getting this compression on your ankles. A lot of people like that. I like it. It's because I'm so used to playing low tops that when I'm playing the Kobe 9s, it's like totally different, and it's nice to play in something different, you know what I mean? I don't know if you guys know the whole proprioception thing. Go check down my previous video, I'll talk about it, but it's just a placebo effect. There's no extra support here. It just gives you a little bit more compression, telling yourself that, hey man, you're playing the high top, you're good to go. You have a little bit more confidence in your game. I'm sure there's like a little TPU, a little inside. Right here is really, really stiff. It keeps your heel in place, locked in. Also this carbon fiber heel cups. Not the heel cups, but on the lateral and medial sides. Now there is one little problem that I did have, which is on this side of the shoe, which I'll show you right now. I actually came down on this part of the shoe. It would dig into my foot when I would cut and also land. It's really hard to tell, but it's not really much of a big deal. It only happened to me twice. But I know some other people it's happened to, so, but I'm not getting into that. Back to lockdown, I would give it a 10 out of 10. You're locked in the heel, the midfoot, and the forefoot. The dead space is really not of an issue. So I'd give the lockdown and fit 10 out of 10. Alright, so next up I want to talk about is heel to toe transition. Now, real quick, heel to toe transition is pretty much how a shoe transitions from heel to toe. Not that complicated, right? So a shoe like the LeBron 11 or like even the crazy ones, the Adidas, the Kobe, those are very clunky. The LeBron 7s, those are clunky too. They're horrible. Now on the Kobe 9, I owe it to a number of things. One, the Lunarlon. Number 2, the outsole. And number 3, the whole structure of the shoe. The way it just glides on the floor, it feels really like you're barefoot. It's amazing. And I gave the shoe 10 out of 10 for heel to toe. And just to put in perspective, no pun intended, just to put in perspective, y'all know it was coming. The Kobe 8s had a great heel to toe transition too. It just feels a lot natural. Next up is support. Now, just like lockdown and fit, support is pretty much go hand in hand. The support on this shoe is phenomenal. Now you have a really, really wide base right here, which is awesome. You also got an outrigger, preventing rollovers, and the most important thing is the way your heel is placed in the shoe, which this does perfectly. So the support, I gave the shoe a good 9.5 out of 10. I docked it half a point because I did want a little shank right here, because sometimes I think I felt it when I was backpedaling on a fast break. It doesn't really hinder anything. So again, 9.5 out of 10. Next up I want to talk about is durability. Now durability is a huge factor when buying a shoe. So obviously a person who buys a shoe casually and really wants a good basketball shoe looks into this, because they don't want to just buy a shoe, spend $225 for this shoe and just have it break down. Now I did grade the shoe 9 out of 10 only because the fact that it's Flyknit. Now I don't have any Flyknit shoes personally other than the Kobe 9, so I don't know how exactly it lasts as far as the durability of the upper, but because it has a little hyperfused layer behind the Flyknit, it will reinforce that. I know for sure it'll last longer than most the Flyknit trainers that in the running department. So I've experienced a lot of people step on my foot, and it's pretty much brand new. And these All-Stars right here is the only one that kind of has a little few damages on it from some battle scars, which is right here on the actual paint on the swoosh. Now since it is Flyknit, there pretty much is no creases. Durability 9 out of 10. And yeah, so lastly I want to talk about is ventilation. Now ventilation of the shoe pretty much only in one spot, 2 spots actually. You got the tongue, which is this torch system or whatever. As far as the side panels, is pretty much non-existent. I do feel it in the tongue. As you can see, there's a lot of perforations in there, and a little bit in the forefoot. So I gave the ventilation a good 7-8 in that range, or 7.5. So it's not super ventilated, but I do not include that in the score of the actual performance score. So breathability is not much of a big deal, but I still grade it. I left it in my grading scale down below. Alright, so to conclude this video, I do have to say that the Kobe 9 deserves an A+ rating. When I balanced everything out, it was 96 out of 100, which to me is A1. This is definitely one of my favorite shoes to play in ever. The traction is one of my favorites of all time. Definitely the best traction out of the whole Kobe line by far. And also do keep in mind that this is a Kobe 9 Elite. There are other versions of the shoe. I believe there's going to be 3. There's already the low top that came out, the engineered mesh, which pretty much just plays like this. And you also got the hopefully a mid-cut Flyknit version as well coming out later on. And this is $225, and for the price, it's really up to you whether you want to drop that money or not. So it's definitely pushed the limits as far as how we think about high top shoes, and this one they did it correctly. They did magnificent, excellent job with this. Again, shout out to Eric Avar and Kobe Bryant, man. You guys pushed the limits. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you again for watching. My name is Jefferson from Kicksologist.com. Team Kicksology all day, every day. Kobe all day, every day. And y'all have a good one. Deuces!